This podcast is presented by the Florida Thoroughbred Breeders and Owners Association and the Florida Department of Agriculture.
So we're here today with you, Mary Lightner, with Shooting Star Thoroughbreds, and we're talking about Chance It, your stallion that's standing here, since it is breeding season. So welcome to the studios.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, it's wonderful that you're here. It's been several years since I got to know you, and also Lisa Gooden when you were at the Florida Sire Stakes. And of course, that day we had this wonderful bus trip there, and a lot of people that got involved with thoroughbreds thanks to both of you that day.
We had several people that you actually introduced us to that actually got involved with Shooting Star that day. So we appreciate getting to meet everybody.
You had a good operation,
Yeah.
honey. It didn't hurt that Chance It was there that day, and he won the Florida Sire Stakes that day. So that obviously helps you catch the racing bug a little bit.
Right. He really was everybody, all the fans loved Chance It. It's I don't know if it was just his desire every single time he stepped foot on the racetrack. He tried hard, and I think everybody saw it and appreciated it. And you know, we love the Florida Sire Stakes. That was our goal with him when we bought him, is, you know, let's try to win the Florida Sire Stakes. And he got 2 of the 3 legs and was second in the affirmed. So
Yeah.
He did everything we asked him to do. So
let's talk a little bit about why you chose him when you purchased him out of sale, and what you were looking for, and how the syndicate came together.
okay, well, we bought him privately.
Okay.
I trained his brother. The first foal out of Vagabond Diva was Trenton Traveler, and he won first time out for me at Churchill Downs. So as soon as the race is over, I get on the phone with my dad and say, you know, let's find his brother. So Dad went and looked at him. He said, Mary, he's a really nice colt. And so we made a deal and bought him and raised him out at our farm at Oak Glen in Williston, and broke him, trained him, and, you know,
He's got the bloodlines of Currency Swap,
right.
with Vagabond
Diva.
Yeah, the Diva, and then She's by Pleasantly Perfect.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
That's right. And then the mares that got Stormcat and the bloodlines on that side, and I think that's you see a lot of that in Chance It.
Chance It, yeah. So from start to finish, you go and pick it in privately. You bring him over. Now, you mentioned your father, so talk a little bit about your other family members that are in the industry. There's a lot.
Yeah, my dad, he's done it. It's all he ever wanted to do his whole life. You know, when every toy he ever wanted as a kid was a toy horse, you know. So he's been in the business a long time. He really always wanted to be at the races, but had 3 kids and kind of sacrificed for us, and, you know, kind of trained horses and was has been a bloodstock agent. And, you know, he's really got a gift for picking out horses, and pretty well respected amongst his peers. My brother is in the business. He's a bloodstock agent. He got my dad's gift of being able to pick out good horses. And my sister, she's in the business as well. She works for Sequel, and we're all just kind of, that wasn't Dad's plan.
So two out of 3 of you then.
All three of us
ended
are
up. That's right.
Yeah,
So
so
all
my
3.
sister Molly, and so we, Dad didn't want us in it.
Yeah.
But we got to an age where he couldn't tell us no. So
Well, and I think he, like you said, you saw a lot of things along the way that your father did, and so you have a good eye for horses and a good eye for performance, because when you see a horse that you're training win at Churchill Downs, and you're immediately like, let's get his brother. So
Right.
so you kind of know that game really well. And so when you get Chance It and you put him into training, you have now a syndicate with him, and so, or your partners. What was that journey like, taking them along the way as he goes on to win 2 legs of the Sire Stakes?
Well, it was our first syndicate we ever had. We had Chance It in it. So there's a lot of people that have never been in the horse business, and this is their first chance to ever have a horse. So their expectations got high really fast.
You're like, okay, guys, we're going to go for the big ones.
But it was a good thing that they really enjoyed it. A lot of our clients are from Kentucky. They get on the plane, come down. You know, Gulfstream was phenomenal about giving us, you know, space to have everybody to watch the races, and they just really, it was the highlight of their, they'd stress out over the next race or where are we going. And
their hair was a little frazzled. What's interesting is there was a lot of joy in the winner's circle. That was one thing, is not only before the race, people were having a good time, a little nervous, of course, because they want to see the horse run well and be happy and healthy when he comes out of it. But the winner's circle was always a pretty exciting thing. So it had to be one of the highlights for them to get close to the horse and see, what that's like.
It was. I don't think they knew what they were getting into. We tried to create a syndicate where people could get in for a reasonable price and enjoy the experience and try to learn a little bit about horse racing. I mean, we need fans, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And that was the deal going in, is let's try to do that. And I think we were successful with that. They came, they watched, they just really learned a lot more about horse racing than they ever could have, if they just went to, the races once or twice a year,
Yeah,
so.
because they have this inside, kind of conversation. So I think that's why the people on our bus trip also were more involved in the sport, because they met you and you were there with a lot of people having a great time, and they see the success. And so they said, maybe I can be involved too. So it makes the access to horses a bit easier.
Yeah, and the great riders and the trainers, they get to see trainers that they only see on TV, and riders are riding their horses that they only see when they win the Kentucky Derby. And it's really exciting for them, and I don't think we've had anybody that didn't enjoy the trip.
Yeah, and I think even just the experience to be able to go into the paddock sometimes, or just the hospitality where you just feel like you've arrived. You have this great experience. So now Chance It. So from his races, he ended up winning a little over $580,000, and he came back and won a race his 3-year-old year. And then he went on and raced his 4-year-old year, and then you retired him. And so when you retired him, what were you thinking of for the Florida breeders and breeders in general when you retired him? What kind of mares were you thinking would get under him and that type of thing?
Well, we really think that his career was cut short due to injury. Obviously, Safi said from the get-go, from his first win, he received the highest buyer number of any 2-year-old in the country and kept the highest buyer number almost through the year. Safi said, this is a grade 1 horse. I have no, in my mind, he's a grade 1 horse. My dad he started Northern a Fleet, and he had this, kind of the same thing. Just let's get mares under him. Maggie Hawk, a Fleet Alex's mother, was a Free Seasons, so. Yeah. It's you got to get mares on the ground, in my dad's opinion, and that's what
Fleet Alex, what a story there,
yeah,
right?
So
and so his belief of get mares under him.
Yeah, just get babies on the ground, and that's the main order of business to get him going. And we love Florida. We love the Florida breeding program. We love the Florida Sire Stakes and everything about. And we wanted to be in Florida, love Crystal and Brent, and we're so happy that they.
Crystal and Brent Fernandez, where you stand him at Journeyman Stud, which they've had great success, obviously, with Kozan, Wildcat Air, and a number of stallions. So they know how to place a stallion right. So Chance It's there standing, which is a great place to be.
Yeah, when I was asked where do you want him to go, and of course I hadn't spoken with anybody, but my answer was I'd like for him to go to Journeyman, and I was so happy when they said yes, that they would take him on.
And so what are you seeing from these early foals?
They're really good looking individuals. They are long legs, all of them. The 2 we have on the ground have good minds like their dad. One is the mother's a half to with verve, and the other one is the baby is the mother's Lyrica, who was a multiple stakes winner at Gulfstream Park. So. And she's got the long legs and the mind to match too. So
yeah, and you talk about his mind. I know that when we came to award him his 2-year-old champion award, because he is a Florida-bred champion, we came out to the barns, and that was how we did the awards that year, visiting everyone at the farms. And he was really full of himself. He was fired up, ready. He wanted to get out and work. So he's a horse that enjoys being out on the track, exercising and in work. But like you said, he has a really good mind. And so what does that mean for breeders when they breed to him? When you say, yeah, he's got a good mind?
I think they can expect that their babies will do what they're asked. We have them leading. Just he never got tired on the racetrack, and he can pass that on. And when he would come back to the winner's circle, he wouldn't be breathing in any harder than you and I are right now. And he just really had the stamina, and he just had a lot of ability. And He's was a good racehorse.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning again that speed. I mean, that speed when you have a buyer, you know, the highest buyer for most of the year, and we're talking all horses, not just horses running at Gulfstream Park, not just horses running in the state, but that is across the country. And so that's really, really, really impressive. And so I'm getting the signal to wrap here in a couple seconds. So I did want to mention, if you want to mention where your training center is, where you're training, the name of your stable again, and your syndicate, how people can get involved, and then where he's standing.
Sure. We're at Oak Ridge Training Center in Morriston. We have our Shooting Star syndicate out of there. That it's shootingstartb.com is our website. That anybody can get involved. It's a fun way. Everybody has fun. You'll have 18 months of fun.
Give them an idea of what that price point would be. What does it range from?
It's a $3,000 all in. You get 3 horses, no bills, and they'll run through, for 18 months through their 2-year-old year through halfway through their 3-year-old year. And you get your 1% is, we sell 100 shares. So 1 shares, it's 1 for 1. So, and it's just fun. We go to the races. We race in Kentucky and Florida mostly. Sometimes New York, Virginia, and then you get your share of the purse money, and when we sell the horses, you get your share of that portion too. And just everybody has a lot of fun with it, and you can get in for what it would cost to go on a long weekend. So
that's a great way to look at it.
18 months, and we stand chance at Journeyman, and you can call Brent and Crystal and book your mare to him, and I think we're going to give him every single opportunity that we can give him to make it as a stallion here in Florida. So.
Yeah, and I would say too, based on what we've talked about a little bit, also giving Brett Fernanga a call. He's really great about talking about where he sees the placement of mares under the stallions, and they've had great success. Again, they have Stallion of the Year this year, and we hope to see Chance It in the future not only be a Florida-bred champion, but hopefully win one of those stallion awards down the road. So thanks for coming in, Mary. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys.
Really appreciate it. And I would be failing to mention also that you're on the FTBOA board of directors. Congratulations. Thank you for your service to the industry. And it's very meaningful for our board to have people that have been in our industry with all sorts of backgrounds. And you bring that syndicate experience, ownership, the horsemanship, and that Florida Sire Stakes experience, and now the stallion experience. So we really appreciate you being on our board.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
This podcast is presented by the Florida Thoroughbred Breeders and Owners Association and the Florida Department of Agriculture.